You can do anything, but you can't do everything. If you honestly set your mind to it, you prioritize it, you put like all of everything that you have into something, no matter what it is, you will reach some level of success, regardless of how talented you are, or smart you are, or any other metric that you might measure yourself by. If you truly give it everything you have, anyone is capable of doing insane things in any field. But the more directions your attention is split, and the more things it is split between, the less potent your capability to achieve those things actually becomes. About a year ago, I'd say I had a period where I was probably the most motivated I've ever been my entire life. I'd had most of summer break to feel like I was able to collect my thoughts a bit more after a pretty crazy school year. And then I had just gotten back from summer camp, and I just felt incredibly motivated and like I could do pretty much anything. But I made the decision instead of doing anything to try to do pretty much everything. I started doing this program called 75 Hard. I think most people know about it, but for those who don't, pretty much you do two 45-minute workouts a day. You drink a gallon of water every single day. You follow a diet. You read 10 pages of nonfiction. For me, it was pretty much the Bible every single day. And then you take a progress pic every single day. And it's honestly a pretty intense regimen. A lot of people have done it. A lot of people have like boasted about all of its benefits, but a lot of people also view it as way too much. By itself, I say it's pretty cool, but I didn't think it was enough. I decided I was going to add even more stuff onto this. I decided I was going to get out of bed every single day by 8 a.m., which isn't insane, but it was something that for me was a pretty big habit change. Record, edit, and post a YouTube video every single day. Now, why would I even try to do this in the first place? Why would I try to do so many things at once? And I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but for me, there were just so many things that I saw as important, and I wasn't willing to give any of them up. In a way, if I stopped doing any of those things, I kind of viewed it as failure, you know? If I stopped trying to become an author, even if I was still doing everything else, I'd see that as it left me exhausted because I was trying to do too much. And the worst part is, I have so little to show for it now. If I had put all of my time into only being a YouTuber, only working out, only being a solar salesman, only being an author, any of the things that I've been doing at that time, if I had put my time into just one of them, I could have been successful at any of them. And I had to learn one of the biggest lessons of my later teenage years, which is that stepping back from something doesn't mean you failed. And giving things up is the only way you will ever be able to succeed at what's really important to you. I still want to become an author. I really do. And I probably will. Because, I mean, I could do that when I'm 50. And even now, it's hard for me to say that I've stepped away from it and that I've stopped working on my book at all. But it's the only way. It is the only way that I will be able to achieve what is really important to me. Because without stepping away from all the things that don't build up who I am and the things that are really important to me, it's just going to spread me so thin that I'll get nothing done at all. Depending on how much sleep you need a day, there's between 14 to 16 hours of time that you spend awake. But that doesn't mean you have 14 or 16 hours a day that you can spend however you want. So if you feel like you're not enough, like you're not doing enough, or that you're not skilled enough, most likely you're just trying to do or to be too many things at once. Even that 4 to 6 hours of time you get, if you split that between 10 different things, you're not going to move the needle on any of them at all. You're going to get nothing done. It's not because you haven't put in enough effort. It's not because you're broken. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's because you're trying to do too many things at the same time. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. It's just not possible. I have a challenge for all of you guys watching this video right now. I want you to think of the single most important thing in your life. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a job, a career, maybe it's your school. I want you to think which one is the thing that you really want to dedicate yourself the most to right now. And that can change. It's not permanent, but right now, what is it? And now for the second part of this question, I want you to keep that in mind. Which of the things that you do right now will help you perform better in your quote unquote main thing? If the most important thing in your life right now is to work on cars, you love cars, you have a project car you're working on, you know, you probably have a couple things that you could keep. Like maybe you also want to become a content creator, you also want to become a welder, you also want to like get a job or a career that will help you be able to pay for this. But maybe you also have interests Like you really like fish or fish tanks, or you really like hunting, or you really enjoy video games, the classic vice. Any one of those things that just aren't necessarily bad on their own, but don't complement it. And I want you to, in this very moment, right now, identify which things are completely disconnected from your main thing. And without making any crazy change, just identify them and then label them as not as important. Maybe even label them as something you're not going to do anymore at all. And then to not put time into something that isn't the main thing. Because I want you guys to succeed. I want every single person who watches this to become the best version of themselves. I don't mean that I want everyone who watches this to become exactly like me or to become exactly like what I think is right. Because everyone is so different. But universally, you must remember that if you spread yourself too thin, you'll achieve nothing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. This is my second video. My first video did so much better than I thought it would. All you guys' comments and support have just been like really amazing. I expected this to get like 6 or 7 views, like nothing crazy, but now I'm in a position where this actually might go somewhere, and it's really exciting to see. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't, drink some water today, and yeah, take care.